Hi. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Diana. I'm starting this GoFund Me so that I can get a little help paying for housing when I attend UC Berkeley in the fall. I'm a 30-year-old transfer student from Sierra College in Rockland, and I'm graduating in 2 weeks as a member of Phi Theta Kappa and the President's Honor Roll for maintaining a 3.93 GPA. When I started school 2.5 years ago, I was going with the intention of transferring and getting my bachelor's and eventually my master's degree. I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go at that point, but in my first sociology class, it hit me. I needed to be at Berkeley because of the social activism and because of the people and the connections. And I set out about making Berkeley happen. Berkeley became the dream that I needed to achieve. So the reason I started school at 27 was because it took me a minute to figure out what my strengths were, and I realized that I'm really, really good at helping people, and it's a passion to me. I wanted to learn how to effectively run and organize a nonprofit organization that helps teens and young adults who have nowhere to go. People that are victims of abuse, that are addicted to drugs or alcohol, have even been incarcerated, and who need assistance with getting their lives together because they have no one else to turn to. I've seen many of these young people fall while I was working as an EMT, and it broke my heart to see them taken to hospitals or group homes or put into the system at 17 years old, only to be kicked out at 18 or 19, back on the street with nowhere to go. And it really hurt me that I couldn't follow up with these kids because, hearing their stories about their lives really touched me in a way that I can't really describe at all. I have some troubles of my own. When I was 23, just turned 23, I had some learning to do. Being homeless and surrounding myself with people that were not so nice during that time, I was pretty much going nowhere while living in Las Vegas. I was broke, unemployed, experimenting with things that I shouldn't have been experimenting with. And rightfully so, most of my family backed away because they couldn't do anything to help me. I wasn't ready for it at that time until one day when I was waiting for a housing voucher out on Ogden Street. It was like 2 a.m. and I hadn't slept. I was really, really tired, hadn't eaten in probably 2 or 3 days. And a guy approached me while I was sitting on the sidewalk, and he was in the building that I was waiting to get into. He saw that I was exhausted, and he offered to watch over me while I slept. And being that I didn't really have anybody to trust or really put any faith into, not even myself at that point, I took him up on his offer. He watched me sleep for 2 hours to make sure that nobody would hurt me while I was waiting in line. And I didn't know who this guy was. He didn't know who I was. It just ended up happening that way. So when I woke up, he went inside and came back out, and he had a sack lunch, and he offered it to me. He literally had gone inside and purchased with his food stamps, because that's the only thing he had, a sack lunch for someone that he didn't know, and he offered it to me. It was the single most humbling experience of my entire life. I will never forget that. I don't remember that man's name for the life of me, but I will never forget that. Every day I remember the simplest thing that he did for me. And it makes me wake up every day that no matter, and remember and know that no matter what, everyone deserves help finding their way, no matter what your background is, no matter if you've had problems. there's always something. There should always be something for someone to turn to as their last hope of regaining any sort of semblance of a life in this world. This guy, he had nothing. This man had nothing, but in spite of it, he gave me everything. From that moment on, I've been motivated to make a change in people's lives. I've helped others in the best way I know how. I've volunteered for special court-appointed special advocates, CASA. Spent time in AA and NA meetings, listening to people, offering support, and even helping a childhood friend of mine gain her life and her children back from addiction. And she's turned her life around and gotten her children back. That's been really rewarding. But this is my heart. This is what I've chosen to do. This is what I have to give to the world. And I need to continue gaining the educational background to back it all up. And that's where I need your help. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me. This is not something I ever dreamed that would happen. And I'm excited and nervous. But I'm so happy that I worked hard to get into the place that I dreamt of most. I feel extremely blessed. Your help would be extremely appreciated because I intend on making it count. I'm determined to make this work one way or another. It's expensive to live in Berkeley, but I've, checked out all my options and making sure that I can afford it, and, I'm going to make it work in the best way that I know how. I really appreciate your time, and thank you very much for listening, and you have a good day. Thank you.